Katie.
And I'm Kay.
And you're listening to the Babes of Quinte podcast.
Hi, my name is Holly Amon, and you may remember me from episode 36, or maybe you've seen my Instagram or Facebook post. I am the owner and head health, fitness, and mindset coach of Fit with Holly Amon. I started my fitness journey after spending years restricting, dieting, and binging, and then I was like, no more of that, and began focusing on getting strong, gaining muscle, and fostering a healthy relationship with food, and fucking loving myself. I know firsthand the struggle of trying to be comfortable in your body and navigate the sea of fitness influencers, advertisements, and messages being thrown at you from all over the world. Over the past 3 years, I have dedicated myself to helping others reach their level of fitness success in a way that reflects sustainability for them. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at fit.with.holly.a and click the link in my bio for more information.
Hey, Katie, did you know that you should go for a routine dental hygiene visit every 6 to 9 months?
Kind of, but does everyone have to do that?
Our friends at Family Dental Center told me that every 6 to 9 months is ideally how often you should see your hygienist, but it varies depending on a person's oral health. Having a routine dental hygiene visit will help remove calculus and tartar buildup, provide early cavity detection, catch small issues before they become major treatment, and screen for oral cancer.
Oh, so going for routine dental hygiene checks helps with your overall health, plus keeps your teeth looking fresh and clean.
Exactly.
You can book your dental hygiene appointment by visiting Family Dental Center in Belleville, Frankfurt, or Coburg at familydentalcenter.com, and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram at FDC Family. I had a dream last night that I put us on the radio.
On the radio?
Because I haven't done it for a really long time.
It's been
probably since the beginning, like over a year. But I had a dream last night that we were still in program.
You're just like staring at the button. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, I have to constantly look. How are you?
I'm doing okay. If I could never... So, hear me out.
Ready.
We're currently running a Taylor Swift contest.
On Cool 100.
On Cool 100. And it has been the most insane thing I have ever seen.
Swifties, you be crazy.
Holy crap. And the questions that have been coming in have been absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
What if I put in the wrong keyword? What if I spell it the wrong way? It's it's not that deep. We don't care about spelling.
I get it though, because I feel like some contests are
very you have to, it has to be.
The one thing we're very big on is terrestrial listening area, which people are not fully understanding. Mm-hmm. So what that means is you have to be within our coverage area, which goes Brighton, our big coverage area is
it goes to Colburn.
Bancroft,
to just outside Kingston.
And then
all the way
county,
to
the whole
county, and then up to Madoc.
No, it goes to Bancroft.
Holy crap.
So that's our listening area, and people are like, I'm in Toronto, does that count? And we have to be like, no.
Also, we want to reward, I think the whole idea is you want to reward the people who are listening to you all the time.
Yeah.
Instead of someone who
in our community
isn't.
Yeah, there's definitely people who are just trying so hard to get Taylor Swift tickets.
We check. Because we don't want to be rewarding stuff, especially like this, to people who don't listen to the station.
Or some people are saying they're going to sell the tickets. So we don't want that to happen.
Well, no, because why?
Yeah, I don't know. We want the true Swifties to get the tickets.
Yeah, if you're a big fan of something, why would you not want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably die straight on the spot.
How are you feeling not being able to be in this contest? So we can't play contests, by the way. If you work at a radio station,
because quote unquote, it's not fair. But I think it's completely unfair that I'm not allowed to play.
And our families can't play.
Yeah, our families can't play.
I think it's a legal thing. It's actually
a
full thing. Yeah. So
I've been so our promo manager Cole he holds the keys to all of these Taylor Swift tickets, and I'm just so Cole, what do I got to do? And he's like, I can't pick you. I was like, are you sure? He's like, I can't.
Can't pick you. It's so sad.
And it's not even the big bosses can get picked.
No. Big no.
Big hard no. Anyway, so
that's where we're at.
I also don't have any keywords.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of messages being do you have keywords? I don't know the keywords because I can't play, so I don't care.
Also, we just don't have the keywords. That's
the on-airs.
That's the on-airs job.
And
Cool. So they have the keywords. We do not have keywords. We have to listen the same way you guys do.
Yeah. But I've been editing a podcast, so I've had headphones on.
I was listening the other day.
Nice.
And I wrote down
Listen
keywords.
in my car. My presets are set.
I wrote down keywords because I was like, I just want to pretend to play.
Yeah, we want to pretend.
I've been pretend playing. I've been entering. I know I can't win.
Can't win, but you can still pretend.
I'm going to pretend because, like, Taylor Swift, bro.
I'm not a Swiftie, so I respect her greatly.
Yeah.
I do. I have mad, and I love the people who love her so much. I am not a Swiftie. I'm a Macklemorean.
Is that how they...
No, I don't know what they are. I love Macklemore.
I can see that.
It's a vibe.
That
it was
makes
like
sense.
one of my first concerts as a child, not a child, but no, that's a lie. My first concert was Lil Wayne, but I was in grade 8. He had a fire gun. It was great. But then when I was in grade 11, my brother was at Queen's and his roommates were all going to see. I don't know how this happens. My brother lived in a house with like all these like men, dudes, like all his friends, great dudes. And then I would just like somehow always tag along. I was like all of their little sister.
Yeah.
So they were driving to Toronto to see Macklemore and Cam got me a ticket. So they stopped.
That's a nice brother.
Or maybe I was in grade 12, but they stopped on their way. I got out of school early. I got in a car with like 7 giant dudes and I went to a Macklemore concert.
That sounds lovely.
It was great. I loved every moment of it. But you know, when you look back on like, and I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
You look back and you're like, oh yeah, you did that.
So Cam's not the worst.
No, we get along great.
I know. I'm just...
Imagine. Okay. You heard us on the phone yesterday. Usually one of us will be like, hi. And I was like, hello.
Yeah. So I recently, actually, it's funny because I posted about the Taylor Swift contest on our Instagram story.
Yeah.
And his wife, Jill, responded.
Yeah.
And was
Hi,
like,
Jill.
OMG. And I'm like, we can't win.
Yeah, I was like, you can't win.
And then
upset.
I commiserated over.
She made everyone in the family register.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, I think her sister's going.
Yeah,
I think Sam's going to the UK to see her.
Yeah.
I think Jill's going to see the Jonas Brothers this weekend.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun. Should we talk about the episode?
Probably.
Hi.
Hey,
We
episode.
recorded a podcast.
Yes, we did. And it was fun.
It was super fun. Oh, excuse me. This is Black Bear.
It is Black Bear Ridge, the golf course that has been here forever, but also has had new life breathed into it. Words are hard.
They are. Yeah. It was great. I didn't know what to expect. Classic one of those situations.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, no idea what to expect because I am like demographically, I don't look like I would play golf. I'm not their target demo, like by any means. But now I feel like I am.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like millennials are like taking golf over. There's no stereotype anymore. Like there is.
Yeah, no, but like I just appreciate the way that they're kind of going about things, and it's just it's kind of exciting.
It's new, it's hip, it's fresh.
Yeah, and they're doing more than just golf.
Yeah.
Which I thought is really cool.
And unfortunately, we talk about it in the episode, but they have ladies' night on Wednesdays, which I know a lot of past guests go to, and a lot of women in Belleville go to. And I went to one and it was super fun. Unfortunately, it was rainy that night, and I can't go most Wednesdays because I sailboat race on Wednesdays. But it was super fun.
Yeah,
and it's a good time.
Yeah. Should we just get into the episode?
I guess.
Let's just let. Why can't I word?
I don't know.
I'm having
hard today.
I think
I'm
it's because I
sleepy.
had espresso and ADHD meds.
Fire.
So I'm like flying.
I didn't take my meds for a while. Okay, let's let them.
And I just had a bunch of sugar because I've been eating those candy berries out on my desk.
Okay, let's let them listen, I guess.
Listen to the episode.
Enjoy. Did you know that Black Bear Ridge Golf Course started to unfold by a real estate developer in the late 1980s? It took several years to reach its opening date in 2005, but it immediately became one of the top golf course designs in North America by Golf Digest. Fast forward to a global pandemic when 2 out-of-towners decided to buy the course and transform it into a 4-season resort. Cale Fair is a tech exec who grew up near Guelph and moved to Toronto for his career. After a startup he had been working on went under and he took time off, which was extended due to the pandemic, His friend Alex, who recently bought Black Bear Ridge, asked if he would take on the lead of operations at Black, and he decided it was a great opportunity. You know, we had to have a local in the studio as well. Katie Parodo grew up in the Bay of Quinte, and her first job was at Strato's Pizza in Consecon. She attended Dalhousie University and has tons of server and hospitality experience, which made her a perfect fit to take on the role of hospitality lead at Black Bear Ridge Golf Course and Resort. Babes of Quinte, get ready to talk about some golf as we welcome Cale Fair, the president of Black Bear Ridge, and Katie Parodo, say it again? Parodo, hospitality lead at Black Bear Ridge. Every time I say, it's like they just tell me their names and I just go blank.
Immediately.
Every time.
Every single time.
I'm like, there we go.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We got this.
We start every podcast with like a very serious question. What's your favorite potato chip?
Ooh.
I am plain. I'm just like Miss Vicky's plain chips like all day. Maybe a little hell of a good dip in there, but
Like you dip?
oh yeah, I love it. Good, hell of a good dip
Like
is
a
the
super-
bomb.
Okay, so because you like Mrs. Vicky's, have you tried the double crunch ruffles?
No,
Nobody's tried the double
I've
crunch
never even
ruffles.
heard
and
of those.
Having a moment about it.
I know we'll be stopping at the variety store on the way home.
Yeah, no, seriously. So they come in multiple flavors, and they have the crunch of a Mrs. Vicky's, but the flavor of a Ruffles.
I'm in. I'm here for that. Yeah.
They're really loud.
I think
though.
you tell everyone, like every podcast.
Every podcast, nobody has tried them, and I'm like, you guys are crazy.
I think I'm a bit of a chip connoisseur, so I'm saddened that I don't know this, and I need to get on it. Right?
Yeah.
Not a connoisseur. I'm just kidding.
Katie, what about you?
I'd say I like them all. It's a
Okay,
good
yeah.
variety. Depending on the mood of the day, it changes. It's Cheetos, Miss Vicky's.
Oh.
Like,
We haven't had a Cheetos yet.
No, we haven't had a Cheetos.
it's the puff Cheeto, not the crunchy Cheeto.
Yeah. I got that.
What about Hawkins? I'm obsessed with Hawkins.
Oh, yeah. It's just like
Yeah.
a staple
So
because
good.
growing up here too, like at Halloween, you got a lot of Hawkins.
See, I didn't grow up here, so it's like, it's funny because my kid would get them
Yeah.
in her Halloween basket. I'm like, why is everybody so obsessed with these? And then I
they're
stole a whole bunch,
crazy.
and I was like, get
I know why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they make the really small bags because the larger ones, like I eat to the point I feel sick, but I can't stop.
It's
So the
so
small bags are
salty.
great, just like a little taste.
It's just
and
like you calm that like
Yeah.
addictive.
You can
like,
get them at
whatever.
Costco now.
Really?
Yeah, and you get like a double bag. Like it's very great.
Oh, I feel like a Costco size Hawkins is trouble for me. I don't need to know
Costco size
that.
I'm gonna bring them to you. I'm gonna be like, here you go.
Oh my gosh, I am obsessed. So my
Start
obsession started
shipping them.
before I
Oh, really?
came the Black Bear. Yeah,
Really?
like so I had a special place in my heart for them, and it was like it was a running joke with my friends. We'd in fact like concocted this whole story about Dr. John Hawkins, the founder, which is completely untrue, but maybe a few cocktails in one night, we went on a big rampage about building this whole backstory about Hawkins because we were like obsessed. Like these are #1 cheesies around. They're made in Canada. And this is before the Belleville connection. So when I moved, like when, I lived part-time here and part-time still in Toronto with my family. And I was like, called my buddy who the love affair for Hawkins started. And I was like, guess where I'm working now? Close to Hawkinstown. And so I like, one of the first things I did was like, okay, where's the factory? Okay, I know where the factory
Did you find
is.
it?
I did, yeah. Yeah, a little nondescript, little
It's
white
very
building.
nondescript.
No sign on the outside. Like, Dr. John Hawkins likes to fly under the radar, I guess. And then like, got to know the backstory of how they were made and, the origins in the United States. And yeah, like
I love how much you deep dove into this.
I'm like, might be a professor of cheesies.
Okay, I definitely have a gift to give you.
oh,
I
yeah,
can't,
you do.
It cannot be today because I don't have it here. But I'm going to I have something for
We're
you.
gonna drop something off.
We're gonna drop something
but
off.
it's a surprise.
And you're gonna lose
So
it.
exciting. This is so exciting. I love those cheesies.
I was like deep diving on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And it says you went to school for radio and television broadcasting.
Correct.
How's that going? What was that
Well,
like?
I went a bit of a career pivot now that I'm in the hospitality and golf business. I like to keep things interesting every few years and totally change my career. So yeah, I spent 5 years working in radio.
Really? Where?
CFRB 1010 in Toronto.
Oh, I'm sorry.
News talk station.
Just kidding. I don't know them. They're not us. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
No, it's all right.
Oh,
There's
like, it
always
was
a little
just-
combative in
It was
radio,
like
right?
talk. It was just
Yeah, it's a news talk station. So I was a radio reporter for a few years, and then I went behind the scenes and was a producer for the few of the
Wow.
talk shows on the station. So did that for 4 years. Loved it. That's what I studied, and like I miss radio a lot. Like I really have a passion for it. Still listen to it a lot. My wife is also in the business, so that's where we met going to school, and
That's
she works for Chorus and does marketing for them. Is the head of marketing for all Chorus radio stations across the country. So we're a radio family. Actually, my father-in-law is also a radio guy. So
Well,
he ran.
who is he?
Rick Moss. He ran radio stations in London, Ontario, Kitchener, and he got a start in Owen Sound.
What radio stations?
Uh,
I'm putting pieces together.
Sorry,
right
yeah,
now.
like who are they owned? Do you know?
he ran the Chorus stations
Oh, okay, so it's Chorus.
in London, but he's bounced around, like, London, I forget the owners of the London state, or pardon me, not London, the Owen Sound stations, like a privately held organization. So he's bounced around. He was in Kitchener working, so he's worked with like privately held smaller businesses and then larger ones. But yeah, we've got a long-standing history in radio.
Sorry, I'm like nerding out because I also have a long-standing history in radio.
Do you?
So my family owns this radio station,
Okay.
like owns these two. But then my grandfather was like the vice president of Chum for a really long time. So
Yeah.
he worked with Jimmy Waters, and he started a bunch of stations, which is why I asked, because I was like, was he with Chum? But yeah, so
So who was your grandfather?
Fred Sharpe.
Okay, yeah, like legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize till he died, and I was at his like celebration of life, and then like Marilyn Dennis walked in. I was
Sure.
like, what the fuck is happening?
I feel like in college, like, going back to Conestoga College where I studied, like, that would be a name that came up, and like, this is, an innovator and,
Yeah.
Instrumental in the
Isn't that
foundation.
crazy?
Super cool.
So cool.
Good pedigree.
Yeah, guess it's in my blood. Who
Yeah.
knows? Making
Yeah.
it up as I go.
It's a great business filled with amazing people. And what's cool about it is there are so many connections, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's worked everywhere. And I just love, like, we'll probably put together even more contacts
yeah.
throughout either this conversation or in the future. And I love
So cool.
it's a small, supportive industry, which is
really
great.
is.
Yeah.
That's fun. I love radio. Okay.
I love I'm just like, yes, all of these things are coming
Yeah,
together.
right. And then Katie, you grew up here.
Yes.
Where'd you grow
yes
up?
Yes and no. So
Okay.
I actually bounced around quite a few times. My family moved every couple of years. My dad works like across Ontario, so we moved wherever best suited his job. So I lived in Belleville, I want to say like 2013, 2014 was my first couple of years. I moved back to Toronto for 2 years, and then I actually came back here to finish grade 11 and 12.
Okay.
So
And then you went to
yes and no.
Dalhousie.
Yeah.
How'd you even leave the East Coast to come back here? I feel like
It
that's a hard
it was such
decision.
a hard decision. Like the people that are out there, they're so kind. For
Mm-hmm.
the first time in my life, I didn't have to look across like both ways before crossing a street.
Mm-hmm.
Like people will just stop for you. And growing up in Toronto, like that was such a drastic change.
Very
Like
different.
it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I do love a quick street cross. I yell when I'm in Toronto and I'm like trying to turn. I'm like, why are there so many people?
Yeah, you have to just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to just like let it happen.
Yeah, you got to make your move. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I don't drive in Toronto specifically because of that.
Same.
I do, and I
refuse
yell.
to drive like downtown. I'll just take the GO train and then
Yeah.
take
Yep.
the TTC.
Yeah, I drive all the time. So I live in Leslieville, the East End, and it's
Oh,
intense.
nice.
But I'm a small town. I grew up in a small town, so I always laugh that like the honk of a horn still startles me. It
Yeah.
scares me, and it's like a common thing. It's almost like saying hi in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's like, get moving, baby, and like I still get like shocked every
Yeah,
time
I'm
because.
like, why do you hate me?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you get honked at in a smaller town, it's like
It's personal.
it's
Yeah, it
personal.
is.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
feels like an attack.
I'm like,
you're
you are the worst
Jim's honking
driver
at, like,
ever.
you go home and like, Jim honked me today. Like, what a jerk.
But we do love like the steering wheel, like stuff.
the,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like,
the
yeah, like
All the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like I feel like undercover things that happen.
I feel like when I lived in Toronto, I didn't sleep for like the first week because of the honking.
Yeah.
And I was like, and just like the general city noises.
Yeah.
That puts me to sleep.
Does it? Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm at that
so
point.
Open
now.
window, like sirens going in the night, cars honking, peaceful.
Yeah.
So peaceful.
I used to live in like Kensington Market.
Nice.
So it was like, but I was on like Dundas, like just outside of it. And it was like down the road from like the hospital. So there was always like sirens and ambulances and people.
So that's just you're like
stabbed
white
across the street. It was great. The day I moved there, somebody got stabbed literally across the street from where I lived. I was like, great.
Good start. Yeah.
I love this.
No. Yeah, we lived on top of an African drum shop. It was great.
Oh,
What a
yeah, that would be-
time.
speaking of, noise, that would be difficult.
It was amazing.
I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah, I know that drum shot very well. I've been through that.
Literally
Yeah.
right above it. That's where I
Cale
lived.
has like a drumming hobby. Do you?
Yeah, I actually do.
Really?
I do have 2 African djembes. Yeah, that was like I love music, but I never got in. I took piano, but never saw it through. And like I'm constantly trying to learn guitar, but hack. But like if I love a good campfire jam session, and what I can add is my drumming skills because I can keep a beat. So that was how I contributed to. And
Good.
I do have
Full circle
2
right
drums.
there.
Yeah, I do have 2 djembes that.
Oh, this has turned
If you
around.
want to, sing a good Weezer jam around a campfire, I'm your man.
I love Weezer.
I haven't seen the Barbie movie, but I know there's like a part where they're just like, it's just Ken dolls like singing.
Yes.
What are they singing?
I don't know what they're
Smash
singing.
Mouth or something, just like at you.
Yeah, so
And I'm just,
I don't want to
that's-
spoil
to
it
me,
because
I'm
it's just
so-
such a
not
perfect
to insult
movie.
you, but I'm like, that's what I'm just picturing you like
Yeah.
drumming, singing at people who have no choice.
I don't know if I fit the Ken doll profile. Chubby Ken doll, maybe, but
That's the thing about the Barbie movie. Everybody can be Ken.
Everyone can be Barbie.
that's
KENOUGH.
right. Yeah.
You're enough. I need to see that movie.
Is that a thing? KENOUGH?
Oh yeah.
okay.
There's sweaters and everything.
Oh, interesting.
Stickers you can put
Oh,
on
I
your
love
car. It's
that.
a whole thing.
That's so
It's a whole
good.
market.
I'm
I started saying, "Can you not?"
Okay, seeing that movie this week on my list.
You have to.
Do you both like golf or like
Yeah.
no, like before you started.
before that?
I wasn't a huge golfer.
Oh, okay.
The most I would get out was like the annual boys trip where we'd book a few rounds, and I played a lot growing up. Like I feel like when Tiger Woods first started, I was maybe like first got on the scene. I think I was like 10 or something. So like it was huge and everyone was into it, and then I sort of just fell off. It's a frustrating game, and I was like so annoyed by it, and I was like, this isn't my thing. And so since working at Black Bear the last 2 years, I've picked the clubs back up and play a lot more, and I think I've found the love for it. Like I think it's really frustrating. Like it's a love-hate relationship, but every golfer will tell you that,
Yeah.
right? So I think I found my sweet spot.
Yeah, I actually started playing golf in high school. My
Oh.
dad taught me how, got me my first set of clubs, and that was my go-to thing. I'd go golfing with my dad and my grandfather, and
That's so
That's
like
adorable.
wholesome.
I was just a couple pars away from making OFSA, so that was the highlight of my golf career.
Wow.
And I hadn't played in a couple years, so being at Black Bear actually brought my love for golf back to life. So that's super exciting.
That's really nice.
That's very cool.
But the hardest part about working at a golf course is it's hard to find time to golf, isn't it?
Yes.
I feel like the two of us are constantly racing around doing a bunch of things, and it's tough to even just get out to the driving range and play. It's everyone's like, a lot of my buddies who really love golf and try to get as much as possible. They're like, they feel like I should be golfing way more, but it's tough.
It's
No,
tough when
there's
you
a lot,
work
lot to
there,
do. Yeah.
Like,
And I don't
what
also
do you want to do like on your day off? You don't want to go
You
to
don't-
work.
Yeah.
Well, I feel a little bit of guilt, like, if I'm just on the driving range or out golfing all the time, I feel like it doesn't set the best example for the
Absolutely.
team. Like, oh, Cale's out golfing again. Like, must be a sweet gig. So, like, I'm a little bit conscious of that, right?
Good,
You don't want to be setting the wrong.
Not having too
precedent.
much fun.
Can't have
you
too
have to
much
look
fun.
like sad sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
work.
Yeah. I'm stressed. I can't golf. No.
no.
It's well, we're fortunate because we have a killer golf
Oh,
course.
yeah, beautiful facilities.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Black Bear was like this top golf course
Yeah.
in Belleville.
Yeah.
I
Even-
didn't either.
Yeah,
Until I
like-
joined the team. It was totally under the radar, little hidden gem
Yeah.
in Belleville, and I feel like the word's starting to spread a little bit with all the new stuff we have going on. So
Yeah.
we're
See, I
getting
knew
there.
this, so
How did you know this?
I don't know, because I take information in and it's like one of those random facts that nobody knows, and I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
we have
cool.
golf.
Yeah.
We're cool in golf in Belleville.
I'm trying to convince all my family and friends from Timmins to move here.
Oh.
So I'm like
They
hyper
should.
focusing on all of their hobbies.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, hey, we have fishing. We have golf.
We
have all
will
these
have
things.
pickleball.
We're going to have pickleball. We have sailing. And they're all like, oh my God, but we can't go hunting. I'm like, you can go hunting.
And you can definitely go
Who
hunting.
got it all?
Hunting,
Yeah.
yeah. I was going to say we're really fortunate for, recreation
Yeah.
around these parts. Even golf, like we've got, Black Bear is the 7th rated public course in Ontario.
Holy crap.
It's, in the top 100 of all golf courses rated by Score Golf. But to be fair, we've got incredible golf courses. We've got Timber, Trillium, Bay of Quinte. Like these are all great golf courses too. So if, plus pickleball, plus hunting, plus, the Bay of Quinte, Prince Edward County to the south. Like this is like a haven.
It is.
If you like being outdoors and doing fun stuff.
Really is. Sometimes you forget when you live here though, because you're just, especially like I grew up here.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get anywhere. Like it was rough growing up here because you don't have public transit. You can't get anywhere until you get your driver's license. And then like we just had the Quinte Mall. And I was like, what is this trash? And now I'm back and I'm like, I love it here.
It's a pretty special place. Yeah, now I'm an outsider, right? I hadn't had much exposure beyond like hopping off the 401 quickly to go to Quinte Mall. I once bought some car parts and met the guy at Quinte Mall.
Nice.
That checks out.
That seems legit.
It's a very popular like Facebook marketplace meetup spot.
That's exactly what happened. I met him
spot.
halfway. I think he drove from Kingston and I bought some parts for my vehicle. And but otherwise I hadn't much exposure, and it's really a wonderful community. Yeah.
For the people in the back who may not have been listening, my name is Holly Amon, and I am the owner and head coach of Fit with Holly Amon. I have been keeping it real over the past 3 years and helping individuals feel comfortable in their bodies by promoting balanced lifestyles. I offer a variety of options to be in my world and learn and grow from wherever you are. Anywhere from one-on-one online coaching, which is my personal fave, to fitness and nutrition membership options that fit your needs. And hey, if you aren't really in the market for a coach but kind of want to see what I'm all about and maybe get some cool freebies and cool advice, check out the link in my Instagram bio and in the show notes for access to my private Facebook group, and subscribe to my emails because that's where all the goods, i.e. deals and mini offers, go first. And for more information, tap the link in the show notes below and make sure to follow me on Instagram at fit.with.holly.a.
We've learned that the average person should visit the Family Dental Center every 6 to 9 months for routine dental hygiene.
Yep, committing to regular dental hygiene visits can have long-term benefits for your teeth, gum health, and overall well-being. During your routine hygiene checkups, hygienists and dentists are checking for early signs of cavities, gum disease, and oral cancer.
We both may not love going to the dentist, but Family Dental Center offers a judgment-free space and even provides options like gravity blankets to help reduce dental anxiety.
It's also so important to introduce your kids to routine dental checkups early on to set them up for dental success and promote their overall health. This can also help reduce future dental anxiety.
For any questions about your dental health or getting your kids comfortable going to the dentist, contact the Family Dental Center at familydentalcenter.com or give them a call at the Belleville, Frankfurt, or Coburg office.
And stay up to date on all things Family Dental Center by following the team on Facebook and Instagram at FDC Family.
Can you give us like the history of how you are involved in Black Bear and how it was bought and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, sure. So, Brian McGee founded Black Bear Ridge. He started assembling the properties in the 80s and started building the course in the late 80s. And interestingly, he built the course and then went back to the city and was like, hey, look what I just did. And they're like, whoa, wow, you got a whole golf course here. And then like went through all the motions of getting it approved and recognized as a business. And in 2005 it opened. And in 2020, Alex Sharpe, my business partner, who's an entrepreneur, real estate developer, got wind that, sadly, Mr. McGee's health was failing. He had Alzheimer's and it was fairly aggressive. And so the estate was preparing to sell it and it was on the market. And so he's an avid golfer. He played varsity U of G and he's a real estate guy. So it was like kind of the marriage of his passions. And so he came out here and played. He was like, this is amazing. And one thing led to another and sort of tied it up. And so in January of 2021, I had just come off like a pretty heartbreaking 2-month interview where I didn't get the job. And we're close friends. We've known each other since grade 7. Our kids are born on the same day. I'm his daughter's godfather.
Oh, besties.
Yeah. So we're besties for sure. And so we were out with the kids tobogganing in January, and I was like, man, I just had this heartbreaking, I was trying to get on the job scene and had a good interview with Shopify and went for 2 months and lost the job. And he was like, I think I'm going to do, honestly, I wish for sure would have been out the door within a year. So everything works out for a reason. And he's like, I think I'm going to do this. And I'd heard that he was looking at this place, and he's like, I think there's a really great opportunity here. Like, why don't you come out and run it? And part of me was like, I don't think he had really thought it through. But I was like, oh, yeah, perfect. I accept this job offer.
Great.
We are tobogganing
now.
Yeah, exactly. Sign here, here, and here. But yeah, I was just like, this sounds like it was post-COVID, right? So I'd just been on the job market trying to find things, but also my wife was working and the kids were home and in and out of school all the time. So I was backstopping the family a little bit on that front. So it was tough to find the right fit. I was, late 30s. You don't just want to get another job. I was trying to find something. So yeah,
you want to be happy.
You want to be happy, exactly. And post-COVID, everything was shaken up. Working remotely was a little bit easier. So the prospect of taking on a role in Belleville, while not, when it was certainly complicated, but working a couple days remotely, it seemed feasible. And so I got on board around then, and I said, well, I'll come on board and work for free as we go through the due diligence of the acquisition, and I'll build an operations strategy for how we want to evolve this business. And I'll start coming out to the meetings and getting a feeling for what the kitchen's like and meeting the staff and how they market and advertise, and sort of try to digest that and put it into the things we're going to do if we come on board and take over the business to grow it. And that included, adding the accommodations and that sort of thing. So we worked through that January through till June when we were supposed to close the deal. We had to push it back a little bit, which was always a little bit scary because, you don't, at this point, I'm like, I'm in on this if we're going to do it, but we still may not be able to put the deal together. And I was doing some consulting and also still interviewing, trying to hedge my bets and push all the things forward, knowing that I think Black Bear is really what I want to do, but any good deal can fall apart. And it didn't, fortunately. And August 17th, so we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary, we closed on the deal and just jumped right in. And the first year was sort of listen, learn, validate our assumptions. So we saw the golf season through August 2021 through to the end of the year, and sort of got a feel for the team. And we didn't make a ton of changes. We just were like, hey, how does this business work? Is this assumption we made about X the actual case? And just onboarded with the team. That was just a lot of administration. You're setting up bank accounts and that sort of thing. And then in November, December, sort of once the season petered off and everyone was gone home for the season, we started the renovations and started to go forth with our plan for the accommodations. And in June, we hooked up with Task Force Engineering. So they've been here in Belleville for over 40 years and were acquired by a brother and sister, Hillary and Ian Murphy, who are the owners now, and just an incredible organization. And they came on board as the general contractors. And we did 2 extensive renovations on the 2 main houses that were there. One was Mr. McGee's house, and the other was the course builder, and we renovated those and opened up in June 2021 and started the sort of movement from golf course to resort.
So cool.
And then in August, Katie came on board and really helped us accelerate the hospitality side of our business, and has been killing it ever since.
Yeah,
what
what's
do you
your
do?
role?
So I'm the hospitality lead. So I basically take care of all the bookings. I make sure all the guests are taken care of. Anything from point A to point Z of a guest stay, I'm always there hands-on, making sure everything's going smoothly. So it's a turnkey experience. When you come onto the Black Bear property, you don't have to think about anything. You just come with your suitcase, your toothbrush, your toothpaste, and everything is taken care of.
Damn.
That's a lot. Do you like that?
I love it, actually.
Do you want to be my hospitality
Like,
manager?
you just managed my life.
I think that's what I need now.
Yeah. But so do you mostly work with like the accommodations, or are you also with other part of the course?
I feel like it's a team effort when it comes to Black Bear, making sure everything goes smoothly between like golf and events and the accommodations. But my main focus for my role is the accommodations, for sure.
And right now it's the 2 houses.
We actually have 4 now.
What? Tell us more.
So we've got our 2 large format houses, the Wallace and the Carter. They sleep 20 and 16 respectively. And then we also opened up our Jones house on the property, which I think finished late last fall.
Yeah.
So that's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. It can sleep up to 4. And then we have our little secret back pocket off-site house. It's 3 driveways away from our main entrance, so it's not far at all. And that one's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it sleeps up to 12 people comfortably. So we've got anything for small, medium, and large size groups.
That's I did not know. That's very sneaky of you guys. There's just like these accommodations hanging out
It's
there.
like the perfect staycation.
It really is.
Just get like a group of friends and hang out and play golf.
100%.
Drink alcoholic adult beverages.
Yeah. Why not? And then how many more? Because so there's more development going to happen.
Yeah.
So
What's going forward? What's happening?
Yeah, so we were granted an MZO in 2022 with the support ministerial zoning order. And so that's basically like a collaboration between the municipality and the province, granting us the authority to build a development in that area. So we were approved. It's called Black Bear Ridge Village. And for people trying to imagine what that looks like, I think the best way to describe it would be like it's within the city boundaries, even though it's out in Corbyville. So we've had granted an extension of the city boundaries. We'll be granted the authority to run services out there, so water and sanitary, and most importantly, build some homes. So we've been approved to build over 3,000 homes out there we've got just over 900 acres. And so our goal is to build a community out there anchored by the resort. So we've got obviously great foundation in our 18-hole McGee Championship course and our 9-hole short course, and we want to start building homes around it and eventually sort of like scale up and in and around the golf course and the extra lands. So yeah, north of us, south of the Moira River, we've got a lot of area to build there. And in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a lot of development happen in and around the golf course and be sort of like a resort-like amenity. And then as you sort of go out a little bit further, it'll be more like a similar, like a standard country lots and estates out there. So lots of mixed density. So there'll be affordable housing and also some more luxury side of things too, and something to cater to everyone really. I think we all have a duty to do that in this day and age with housing costs being what they are. So make sure that there's a little something for everyone out there.
I think that's wonderful. Just like to have like the mix of like both housing, because it's like, you know what, myself, I'm a single mom, like, being able to access those types of things, I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
And just like to have, just more options. So then, what happened, we learned about the housing continuum.
Yeah. We're really
and just
into the
be able to
housing
like, for
continuum.
people to move up and then other properties to become available for lower income people. And then it's just a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we all even just need potentially more rental stock out there. There's just a high volume of people moving in here. We need to build more houses, and I think there's a great opportunity again in this wonderful community to do that. And we're fortunate because it's a beautiful backdrop out there. You've got the Moira River to the north, where we'll have some development happening, and then like in and around the forest and treed areas in there, which we intend to keep as much of the tree canopy as possible. I think it's a really lovely setting to build a home and have a family or whatever you want to do out there. Yep.
That is really pretty, and you're kind of out of like right in town, which is nice.
Yeah.
7 minutes to the 401, and like 10 to 15 to a hospital. A lot of real estate is like measured by distance to a Walmart, and we have that working in our favor as well. I'm not a real estate guy. Alice is a real estate guy, but yeah, that's a totally thing.
That's a thing. Sorry.
It's a thing.
I really don't like Walmart.
Yeah, people have a love-hate relationship,
Yeah.
but whether we like it or not, it's a factor.
I get it. Yes,
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm just grumpy about it.
It's okay. Well, we want to support local, right? As much as
Yeah.
possible. I think that's the key. So
Yeah.
I think that's the root of it for people, right?
I think I'm just like super biased because like we work at a locally owned radio station, and like I don't know, I'm just like I love just
We
supporting
love
local
local,
stuff.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's essential.
Whatever, Walmart, you're good for some things.
We get it.
I get it, but I'm grumpy.
We don't
about
like it. Has there been any pushback or just general feedback from the community on what's happening up there?
Yes. Yeah, we've engaged. We had one public consultation. We'll continue to do that throughout this year as a part of our, due diligence to, get our draft plan agreed upon with the city. And so we are engaging the community in advance of putting shovels in the ground and trying to solicit as much feedback as possible. I would say, generally speaking, the community is very supportive from a government level through to individuals in the area. And I think that the residents in the area have very reasonable concerns if they have brought them up, and there were some that did. Things like what's going to happen to the environment, how will the water table be impacted with that many houses being built, what happens with traffic, how will water get to the site, how will it be recycled, does it go back to the treatment plant, is it processed on site?
Yeah.
These are all questions that we have a duty to answer and provide clarity on. And so I think generally I'm just taking the temperature from the public that we have engaged with. I think largely I would honestly say that there's a lot of support for it, but we just have a bunch of answers to provide to the community before I think everyone will be okay with it.
I think it's really lovely that you guys are taking the time to engage with the public, because there's a lot of Toronto investors that are coming into Belleville. Specifically, there's a whole bunch in Trenton right now that are just buying up apartment buildings and just
Doing whatever they want.
whatever they want and evicting tenants
People.
who've been there for 25 years.
Right.
So it's just I know it's a completely different situation, but to get the public's feedback, I think is just I just think it's really responsible.
Yeah.
And, it keeps people in the know about what's happening and what's going on. And
Yeah. I appreciate that. And we don't see any other way to do it, I think, out of respect. But really, again, we're new to the area. So there are lots of things that we're unaware of that if by engaging people, it will allow us to do this the right way. And we don't want to come in here and disrupt people's lives. Certainly people in the area that live in the area, that's not the intention. I think our goal is to build a really cool product that I think will be great for the community. If you consider again, some cool houses. We retain an amazing architecture firm called Super Cool, and they are going to bring, I think, something really unique help us bring something really unique in terms of the end product. But also, I think it's going to create jobs. Again, there's the houses that we'll build, but there's also that will be fed by the resort. And, we want to do more, hospitality inventory in terms of, I don't know, we're not sure if it'll be as far as a hotel or smaller cabins or how that will look at this point. We're literally shaping it. But, I think that will benefit the community in terms of a new hospitality resort amenity in the area, which will bring jobs. But, if the community isn't on board, isn't excited about it, it's a difficult thing to do. So by engaging the community, I think we can get buy-in, and we keep telling people in the community, what we're trying to do is get everyone on board right now to help shape this. It's a ball of clay right now, and everyone can have input, and we hope that the end result again is something that everyone's really excited about and can get behind.
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Also, I want to circle back to the architecture firm. They're called Super Cool.
Super cool, yeah.
I thought you were just saying they were
Super with a
super
K.
cool.
Amazing.
SUPERKUL. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah. They are.
I would work with them just based on that
Yeah,
name.
totally. That was 90% of it. Was the name.
Yeah.
I see it.
No, if your listeners and yourselves want to check out their Instagram, they're award-winning firm and just really, really talented group. So
I'm really big into design.
Oh, you'll
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also, I want to talk about design because you guys did a rebranding
Yes.
of things. Who did that?
So Ryan Wayne was the designer we worked with, and he was a independent freelancer. He's since joined a company, but he's just got an incredible aesthetic. He worked with Alex on his business IQ Offices, which is a co-working company in Toronto, and they've got multiple locations across Canada and growing. So he was a part of that team, and we caught him when he was doing some freelance work. So he helped us build the brand, I'm really happy with the outcome of that. The bear logo and the Baggerich font. It's called Baggerich. It's kind of
it's a
nerdy
great
stuff.
font.
Like chef's kiss. Like,
We love fonts.
Yeah,
So like,
I'm a big font guy too.
yeah.
if you can, and then just like the whole aesthetic and design. Can you tell us how much that cost?
Is that allowed?
There's a few,
Are you allowed
few
to?
grand.
That's fair.
love
you know what? Actually, it was
just because like people, I always like I'll get people come to me. They'll be like, "Oh, I need a logo design," and I'll be like, "Okay, it's going to be a minimum of this," and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so expensive." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's your whole identity."
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to understand that. So even a few grand, like that's a perfect jumping off point. See, people, logo design is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got to invest in it. You really do. And like even down to the amount of effort that goes, like we've got a 20-page brand guidelines document. Like just the sheer amount of work that goes into developing that for a
beautiful.
designer, let
That's what
alone the
Can you
conceptual
send that to me?
process.
Am I allowed
of
to
course.
see that?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got
like
color
I want to see
schemes.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we've got multiple
That stuff like
color-
just makes me so happy.
It's
yeah.
so great.
Yeah, me too. I
When
love
brands can come to me and like they'll be like, "Okay, here's our media kit," and I'm like,
Thank you.
Oh, you'll love our media kit.
yeah.
I've got folders on folders. I got
Please
Love it.
send us
EPS,
some.
PNG, JPEGs.
Oh,
all
you even know the different file types.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'll get like
Screenshot.
so I also do some of the ads on in Quinte, and sometimes I'll get a photo of a sign,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Oh,
oh no.
Yeah.
Or I'll get like a screenshot of something, and I'm just kind of like the amount of logos I've redone, like and vectorized, and people don't understand like the value of having that.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
now you can print it the size of a billboard.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, I love a good
You're
vector
welcome.
file.
Right?
Man.
I come by it honestly. So prior to this, I worked in e-commerce, but specifically with like artists and creative. So like the last business I worked on was called Notion Manufacturing. We're a print-on-demand manufacturing company. So we built software that integrated with Shopify. So basically, if you're like an artist or a designer, you're an influencer, you could essentially sell products through your Shopify store. We would make the products and send it to your customers. So they ordered it on your site,
Yeah.
and then we would receive the order and we'd print the T-shirt, phone case, art print, or whatever,
Yeah.
and send it to your customer.
It's like
And
Threadless.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like we
My
were
friend
in,
owns Threadless, so
Oh.
it's like, yeah.
yeah, we were
Same.
playing in that. Like I was in
Yeah.
that space for 10 years,
Beautiful.
working with
Wow.
artists and trying to provide them with, solutions to sell merchandise essentially.
Well-
And so I worked with like thousands of artists. And the point of this story is like I lived in like file quality world. Like it was always about like what was the best quality, high resolution image to
Yeah.
reproduce it onto a T-shirt or a
Yeah.
phone case or something. So I'm a bit like serious about file
That's my
quality.
love language.
We
Like, straight up.
are
Yeah.
also serious about file quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Again,
share an office and there'll be a lot of like, oh God, what is that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Lots of, oh no.
and it's tough to navigate for a lot
Yeah.
of people, right? Like you really have to.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, like starting a business and anyone like out there, it's like, I don't have a budget. And I'm like, that's fine. But also like when you want to take your business to the next level, like branding and fonts and colors and guidelines and all these things are so important.
Yeah, yeah. They
I'm
make
gonna
a
show
big.
you something later. You're gonna, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
cool
Probably.
logo?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Goodness.
No, I do love like the branding, and now I feel like because I had been to Black Bear, because I used to work road crew here, and we'd go to events like at Black Bear when there was golf tournaments. I didn't know I was going to Black Bear. I was just like, this is a golf course,
Just showing
and
up
now I'm
and-
like, oh, this is Black Bear. Like I've been here, not realizing because I think the brand just didn't stand out, and now the branding is like chef's kiss, beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's important to Alex and I think like having a brand identity is essential to success, really, and being considerate about the colors and the signage throughout the whole facility. And we spend a lot of time, like we've reprinted every damn sign in that place from the front when you walk in or when you drive up the driveway through to like cart path only sign, but everything matches. And
Yeah, that's
It's
I
all
like having
intentional.
Yeah.
all very intentional. And
I love a good intentional.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just,
well,
Love it.
Cohesion is
yeah, even like we've got our we launched a bocce golf course this year, and like the pink bocce shed matches like the mural on the cart bar, and like we try to be very thoughtful about those little details because it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's fun to have that.
So bocce, how'd that come to be?
So it's a combination of like Alex and I like going cottaging with friends over the years, like always had a bocce set, and it was kind of like a fun game to play while you're out in the lawn and with a beer in hand. So I would say like, I don't know if we're like super passionate bocce ball players, but like we love, like it's a fun game. Yeah.
Like cottage.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Cottage league type situation.
100%. Yeah. Like every time you're together, get the bocce set out, crack a couple beers, and then pair that with, there's a place in Toronto I want to shout out called Lob, which is kind of like a bocce golf course. They did things a little bit differently in terms of the rules and setup, and it's indoors, but it's close to where we live in the East End, and we played there. I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. They've done an exceptional job. So a little inspiration taken from there, and paired that with the fact that we had this like, it's our old driving range where we've put it on. So we had this like open area kind of doing nothing, this like building this shed that was kind of like falling apart and needed repair. And it was like, what do we do at this space? It's like one of the first things you see when you drive up the driveway. It's on your right-hand side. And it was like,
got its own parking lot.
Got its own parking lot. Like we need to activate this. And so yeah, it was just like some ideas just kind of come out of the blue. And we're like, I think Alex was like, what about like a bocce golf course? And I was like,
Genius.
that's just weird enough to work, man.
Honestly, though, it makes me, no, I haven't been yet, but we're always like, are we going to go play bocce? My partner's really into bocce, but
Oh, you gotta
get her out there.
Yeah, the person I'm seeing is like very into this.
Yes, well
We're
then
going to go on a bocce double date. We have planned it in our heads. Our schedules just
we
aren't
would
lining
We're
up.
love
just scheduling.
You know what? It's like
And it's so affordable.
yeah, $10 a person. It's meant to be like a very fun thing you can do with
I didn't
friends,
know it was
family.
that price. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
want
so good.
We want people to come see us like that. And part of the idea there too is like, you know, golf can be very exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a financial thing or a skill thing, and like our course, like the 18 hole is very challenging. So if you're like a middle of the road golfer, you may be intimidated by it. And so we want to do more things at Black Bear that can include people from the community or tourists that aren't golfers. So this is an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Anyone, any age can play this.
I think there's like this rise of like millennials getting into golf because now they're in like businesses where you're like, oh, I guess I have to network and play golf.
Yep.
And you guys have done a great job with the ladies' night on Wednesday. I know so many people who
We've
are
had
there.
so many guests that go.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's great.
And
Like-
it's like every Wednesday night they're posting about Ladies League.
That's
and
awesome.
It's so fun.
I wish I
know. I wish I didn't sail on Wednesdays, then I'd be there. But
Shoot.
gotta win those races. So
Hey.
my
that's a
dad will
great-
fire me.
Well, that's a great hobby. And I think like COVID really accelerated like golf was up like 20% globally.
During the pandemic?
Yeah, over COVID
That's wild.
because it was one of the only things you can do. And so I think, to your point, like that combination of like the COVID push, because it was the only things you can do, plus millennials sort of coming of age. And it was like a perfect storm and everyone's getting back into it. And the biggest growth is in like the BIPOC community and also with women. And so I think what we're doing at the Wednesday League, and we also have a Tuesday Women's League we do in partnership with Iron Lady Golf. And, I think what we're seeing in the market is like, and who am I to say as a man, but like, women want a specific type of like golf product that isn't the same sort of thing that golf has been delivering for guys over the years. And so we wanted to bring something unique to the market with the women's leagues. So women's leagues have been happening for years, but what we're trying to do is add a little bit of an education component, make it accessible if you've never played before. So like we do a clinic beforehand and then sort of like have our golf pros out there just trying to support your development of the game and then try to make it fun too, so that it's not just about the golf. Like we always joked when we were doing the marketing for it, like this is like a golf optional league. Like we want it to be a bit about the social side of it.
I just want to drink the fancy drinks and maybe putt some things.
The night I went with my friends, it was kind of a rainy night, so we did the lesson and we were a bit unhinged. But then then we just went and had the bevy and some delicious food. So you don't feel pressured into like having to go and play after. Like you can just hang out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I find it like as a woman, it's very intimidating. Like in golf, especially in like such a male-dominated sport, like it's very intimidating to go out, especially with like a couple friends who maybe don't play golf as well. So the social league was like built from wanting to take away that scare of playing golf, but also making it more social. You know, like it's harder to make friends as you get older. And the whole point of the social league is that you're there to meet people. You're there to have fun. It's supposed to be a joyful time, and you're supposed to take the intimidation out of it and make it more inclusive. So I feel like it's doing a really great job of that. I mean, when I can make it out, when I'm not working, it's great. So it's probably one of the only times I actually get to go out and golf on the course.
I think too it is like, because if you want to get better at golf and you do a lesson, that can be pricey, but I love that there's the educational component with it.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I think the majority of players could always use a lesson. So it sort of bridges the gap between like if you're coming in and you're getting in 15 or 20 rounds a year, or you're completely new, everyone can sort of live together and work on their game. And I think that's kind of a unique thing, right?
Yeah.
We hope it builds up momentum and continues to grow, because I think we're sort of like coming in with a great option for any player type, and then building a bit of a community too, which is fun.
Yeah. Okay, we talked bocce and ladies social night. Was there any other programs or events that you have that we didn't talk about? I'm sure there's so many.
We actually started doing live music this year. We're just kind of dipping our toes into it. We put some nice, beautiful lights out on the patio. It's overlooking the 9th hole on the course, which is like absolutely gorgeous. So you're kind of elevated looking over the golf course. So we'll actually set like a performer out on the patio, drinks out for the night. Like our next one's coming up August 19th. So I want to say next Saturday.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. But yeah, it's been going pretty good. We love doing it. We have great performers that come out. So
who's performing next week?
Is it Scott?
Scott, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And shout out to Justin Cooper too, who's another two great artists we've been working with.
Cale, so you're here, but your family's in Toronto.
Technically, they're here right now,
okay. But what's
family.
that balance like?
I would say it's challenging for sure. The honeymoon phase has worn off. Like, I'm an optimist, so naturally when decided we were going to do this and had extensive conversations with my wife about it, the biggest concern we had was me being away this frequently. And at first I was like, it's fine and it's fun to like, I don't mind driving, and like I end up booking phone calls on the drive and being like efficient with my time, whether it's like calling my mom or like doing a business call. So like the driving part isn't the hardest. The hardest is being away from family like 2 or 3 days a week. I have an 8 and 4-year-old and try to be involved. I want to be involved in their life and see them every day. So that, it's definitely challenging. And obviously, ideally, I would not be away. Like I'm here 2 to 3 days a week and I stay on site. And, so that sucks, and it's a lot on my wife too. Obviously, she's a busy professional and trying to balance it all, and then having the added layer of me being away is challenging. So I hold a little guilt for that, but she's also an amazing partner, so we're making it work. And I think it's like a great professional opportunity for me. I'm able to go on a bit of an adventure with my best friend, and I think build like. It's a legacy project. Like we could be, working on Black Bear for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
And so that in and of itself is pretty cool. And it's
much like opportunity there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of the balance. It's like anything in life, there's always, a pro and a con that you have to weigh. And so, I mean, I think if I had my way, we'd maybe move out here. But again, it's complicated for a number of reasons. But the cool thing is, this is not just me like holding up to like an office or, where it's a hospitality, so we have places to stay, and and we have golf and we have fun things to do. So like my kids love coming up and staying on site. My son's doing golf. My eldest Emmett is in golf camp right now.
Oh,
and Wilder's, who's 4. Like, they're in the city. We live in a 1,300 square foot semi-detached in Leslieville with like a laneway in the back. So while Toronto's great for parks, like it ain't like the country.
Yeah.
So they come out here and they're catching frogs and ripping around without like concern of being hit by cars, like, anything
Abduction,
like
strangers,
all the things one worries about in the city. Yeah. So we're kind of like, just establishing a new routine in our family, and coming to Black Bear is certainly a wonderful thing for me, day in, day out, every week. And when I get to share it with my family, it's pretty special. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
And then Katie, were you in about like this area before you took on the
role?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was working as a manager over at My Storage. So actually the one just down the road here, the one in Trenton, and the one in Belleville.
Wow.
I was doing that before. So I feel like that kind of set the groundwork a little bit for me going into this role. This was actually a role I was super thankful for. So I have a great boss, great team. So I'm loving it so far.
And do you think you're staying in Belleville? Like, what brought you back to Belleville to stay?
Mostly family. My family was still living here. I have family in Kingston, and then the rest of my family's in Montreal. So I didn't want to be too far away from my family. We're a very close-knit family. So I feel like Belleville brought back a lot of memories, but I've also loved seeing the growth of Belleville. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I hated it here when I was 15 years old. Like, it was sad. I couldn't wait to get my license.
It was sad. That's like the best summing up of living in a small town growing up.
I wanted to invite my friends from Toronto to come and visit me, but there was nothing to do. Like, hang out at my house, go to the Quinte Mall, whoop-de-doo. But now I'm a lot more excited to invite my friends to come on over. There's so much to do in the community, whether it's Trenton, Belleville, Prince Edward County. Like, just seeing this area flourish has been amazing.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I agree with that.
I also agree.
Yeah, and I feel like even in just the past, like, I was gone for a bit and came back, and just even the past like 5 years, like 5-6 years, it's just like gone crazy.
It's completely different from when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, like I only have the context of the past few years, like really being ingrained, but I think from what I see, like whether it's your counselors or mayor, which changed, but you've had Mayor Mitch and now Mayor Ellis, Mayor Mitch Panchuk and Ellis, and both like different guys, but great visions for the city and really care deeply about like growing it and bringing new things here. And the counselors who have had exposure to really care about it as well, and all the stakeholders in the community. Like everyone is invested in this place and wanting to see it continue to grow, and that's pretty inspiring and unique and special.
Yeah.
Alice really laid the groundwork before he went federal.
Right.
Oh
to,
yeah,
like,
he
build
did.
Belleville.
Yep.
And ever since that started, I think things were really taking off.
Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be a cohesion. Like, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, but there seems to be a real cohesion amongst the leadership in this community, as far as like
it's
where
spicy.
they want to go. It's spicy. I'm sure it's always spicy.
It's always
isn't
spicy,
it?
right?
So spicy.
But yeah, I mean,
But it's
again,
great.
I don't have a lot of the youthful baggage, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I grew up in the Fergus-Elora area, and was anxious to get out of there. Now I reflect on it, and I'm like, it was a wonderful place to grow up and raise children and everything like that. But being new to this community, you really get a bit of a outsider's perspective, and I think it's a really special place full of special people and people who just want to do right. And there's of course always a bit of spice, and certainly
That's the fun part.
yeah, exactly. That's what makes it
You on your
interesting.
toes.
Yeah.
But it's really a wonderful community.
Yeah.
I think that's what I love the most is it doesn't matter like where you've lived or like anyone coming in. It's like everyone just kind of falls in love with this area.
Yeah.
Just because it's like the people are great, the area is just beautiful on its own, and there's just a lot to do now.
It's funny though, because for a long time, no one knew where Belleville was.
No.
My family moved here like 25 years ago. And I remember I went to Queens. Like, I literally went to school in Kingston, and I'd be like, oh, I'm from Belleville. And people from Toronto would be like, where's that? I'm like, you literally drove past it. Like, you probably stopped there, and they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Now they're like, the county. I'm like,
Right?
okay.
When I first moved out here, when I moved back here, I first lived in Consecon out in Prince Edward County, and my friends were like, where are you moving to? I'm like, oh, Prince Edward County. They're like, Prince Edward Island? You're going that far? And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No.
It's so funny. I love
I
people.
remember finding this like article online. It was written by like some sort of AI bot. It was,
Love
like,
AI.
It had mixed up Prince Edward County and Prince Edward Island. So it was all these like county activities and like island activities in this one article. It's like, you need to visit Prince Edward County. I was like, this is wrong.
And of Green Gables home in Wellington.
Yeah, it was like just, I was like, what? Who wrote this?
It was a bot.
Yeah, we
Oh,
love.
for sure. Oh no,
So
we're so
scary.
angry at AI.
I'm
right
very
now.
angry at AI.
Oh, I bet.
Did we miss anything, or like, is there any other shout outs you'd like
I
to
want to know if you
give?
can tell us any secrets about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, what's
Ooh.
next, I guess?
We've got a little something in our back pocket that we're starting to build, starting to put together. So with our accommodations and a lot of our guests that we've been having, we're trying to find great partners in the community to kind of elevate their experience, whether people want to go fishing, whether they want to do wine tours, whether they want to bring that wine to the house. We have like private chef dinner and stuff. So we actually recently partnered with the Beauty Collective by Injection.
Love her.
Love them.
So,
Sam.
right? Amazing
So great.
person,
Like,
great human being.
Such a good collab.
So, I mean, she doesn't know this. We're going to reach out to her shortly, but we actually have a November wellness retreat that we're hopefully starting to put together. So we're looking at weekends where it's kind of like all about health and wellness. We're going to bring the spa to the house. We're going to get in touch with nature on the Black Bear Ridge property, and we're just going to make it this beautiful weekend getaway, all about health, nutrition, holistic, like all about wellness, self-care. So that's something we've got coming down the pipe
That's
in
really
November.
cool. Okay.
Little something for the post-golf season, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, obviously one of the challenges is, you know, why come, we're 365, we're a 4-season resort, but we're still in the early days. And Katie came up with this amazing idea, something to do once, you know, our accommodations is driven by golf during the season, but we want the why in the off season. This is going to be one great thing I think we can bring to market in November. Yeah. Do you guys come out?
Yeah.
The amount of like wildlife that we see just walking on the property, like
Oh, I bet.
I met an actual team member that we have last night. He does bird watching as his hobby, and he's been tracking the kinds of birds that he's been seeing on the property. We've seen a lot of deer. I think we found an iguana.
Is there
The
a
other
black
week,
bear? Are there any black bears?
I've heard rumors.
Oh.
It's all just rumors.
Okay.
Never-
There's never actually been a sighting.
Apparently, so Wayne Moore, who's on our maintenance team, he actually helped like build the course from like taking down the trees in the like 90s, and so apparently he's seen it, but it was a long time
It's
ago.
like folklore at
Yeah,
this
it's
point.
totally folk.
It is. I
black
feel like
bear.
I maybe saw some like footprints. But
Yeah.
it's unconfirmed.
You guys should start a rumor and like name the bear and really like
We should.
use that as
There
a
needs to be
fun
like a
spin.
made up tale.
Yeah.
Just like the cheesies.
The cheesies,
You
yeah.
have to have a made up tale
I like
about the
it.
bear.
Yeah.
Well, the bear's name's obviously Hawkins then.
Yeah. That's
There we
Dr.
go.
Hawkins.
I get a
starting.
little bit nervous. Like it's country dark out there, and I'm often either like working late or just on site by myself. And like sometimes I'm walking outside, and I'm like, I don't want to come. I might come face to face with this bear right now. Like
Right.
it's
Mace in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, not at all. I should be better prepared.
Black
but-
bears, I don't think are that bad.
No, black bears are the bad ones.
Really?
Yeah, they're the scary ones. I used
I
to have
thought,
bears
like,
walk down the street when I was a
grizzlies.
kid, so it was like garbage day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'd be bears. Like I'd be like, I can't leave the house. I'm gonna be late for school because there's a bear outside.
To me, it's like always coyotes. Like the yotes are out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
freaking
just All of
coyotes.
them are just
Yeah.
you just have to.
Great.
Honestly, like bear training was like part of like Girl Guides growing up.
Sure.
Like it was like a thing.
Timmons
Well,
life.
we
Oh,
used to
yeah.
like go up, like go camping, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go on a hike. What do you do when you see a bear? Like you
Bear
don't run.
spray.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
it's
there's
like,
no bear spray.
Slow steps.
Isn't there? There's like a rhyme.
I don't know. I don't.
I don't know. It's like
I
if you
would
see the
definitely get
certain
eaten out.
kind, but it's like if you see a polar bear, just like prepare to die.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty much the ending of the saying.
You're not gonna make it.
You're done now.
No, I don't want to come toe to toe with a bear in
No.
my life.
That's fair.
No, I
I
got it.
And
respect
if you see
that.
babies,
Not
like
ready.
you really don't want to be near them.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear. Just
know
watch
mom is close
Cocaine
by.
Bear.
That's how
Oh,
you
yeah.
deal with
Great
everything.
movie.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I'm gonna shut her down. Yeah.
It was
Cool.
great meeting
Yeah.
everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That was amazing. It was really good.
It was really good.
I did have an audio issue, which we posted about yesterday, which almost broke me. And I was like, we're not releasing an episode this week.
Yeah,
But
and then you were on
I
the
pulled
floor.
it together.
And then left.
That's my new response to situations.
I think that's a
I
fair
just have to
response.
lie down wherever I am for about 30 seconds, and then I can pull it back together.
No, I think that's fair.
I did it
cry.
last week too.
Yeah, you did. Didn't you do it like at the entrance?
I did it at the entrance of our office.
Yeah.
And usually there's a swear word, and then I'm like, I'm fine, and I get back up.
I think that's a perfectly
It's like a
healthy way
reset.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just giving
So
your brain that
normalize when you're overwhelmed, just lying down. 30 seconds, take a reset, come back. Wherever you are, doesn't matter.
Start over.
Professionalism, psh.
But also, I think it's pretty on brand at this point for us.
Yeah, I'm living my best life.
That's what I said. I think we had this conversation yesterday in another episode that's coming out in a couple of weeks, where I'm just like, I'm going to stop apologizing for being myself.
You have to be unapologetically you, and it's very hard to do when you have been taught your whole life to apologize for being too much or being who you are.
Well, that's the thing, is I've been covering up who I am for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so now I'm the type of person who is this.
Yeah.
Whatever this is.
I like this.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Cale and Katie were great, though. Cale, I always pronounce the name wrong. I'm so sorry. Cale and Katie were great.
They were great.
Easy editing, just good vibes, very open.
Yeah, and like completely like transparent with us.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate that. And I think it's just something, I think that they genuinely have good intentions.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to bring something, like, obviously Black Bear Ridge is already a great golf course. Like, it's ranked as a great golf course. But they're trying to make it something different for the community, which I think is really special, because Belleville has amazing things. Yeah. But sometimes I think, obviously, we get overshadowed by the county. Yeah. So the option of having things
like this in Belleville.
In Belleville, and not having to drive over the bridge is pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool. And we may be plotting something with them.
Ba, ba, ba.
I want to like pre-sprinkle the...
We're trying.
We're plotting something, and we're plotting something.
Yeah.
Cale, we're coming for you.
Well, we already did. We emailed them. It's happening. Something may be happening.
Something's happening. And we will eventually talk about it more later.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Taylor Swift, golfing. Summer's almost over.
Isn't that crazy? It's almost our birthdays. It's almost Virgo season, baby.
I love it.
Virgos are insane.
In the best way.
But anyone like who tells me they're a Virgo or like their birthday, and I'm like, are you a Virgo? Mm-hmm. And you kind of like vibe with them on a different level, and I'm like, okay.
That's why Beyonce has a song called Virgo Season.
Yeah, we're different breeds.
I think so too.
But
I'm a big fan of the Virgos.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of us. There's 3 of us because Emily's one too. So
Emily's also a
3
Virgo.
of us in the office are Virgos.
My Kate's also a Virgo.
Yeah.
You guys share a birthday.
We do. Yeah.
And both of your names are kind of similar.
Similar, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, you're off next week, so we're literally about to record another intro extra.
Yep. So that's gonna be.
So it's gonna be what else are we gonna come up with? Who knows? So I guess we'll just stop this one.
Stop this one here because we have to do another one directly after this.
Right now, I'm literally gonna press mark, and that's how I'm gonna know to cut it.
Cool.
So I hope you all have a great week, and it's supposed to be a nice weekend. So enjoy.
Is it? I thought it was supposed to rain.
Ah.
I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I'm making things up. Maybe it was just this morning it was supposed to rain.
I think Saturday's supposed to be nice, but I don't know now. Now we're both checking the weather for you guys.
Oh, today's 40% chance. No, it's supposed to be sunny this weekend. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, tomorrow, and then nice. Oh, no, there's okay. Up in the air what it's going to be like this weekend. Have a great weekend regardless.
Have a great weekend.
Okay. The Babies of Quinte podcast is recorded and produced at Starboard Communications, home of 95.5 Hits FM, Cool 100, and inquinte.ca.